If you're tired of the political chaos and miss the high-stakes drama of the old White House days, this story is for you. We're going straight back to that era, and what happened will leave your jaw on the floor. The moment Donald Trump stepped up to that podium and took a shot at Michelle Obama's legacy with a smug smirk on his face, Barack Obama didn't even flinch. Instead, he turned Trump's own words into weapons and used them right back on him. Right there, in front of the entire world, Obama flipped the script and the room absolutely lost it in applause. If you want more jaw-dropping moments like this, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications. You don't want to miss what's coming next. The ballroom at the Washington Hilton was glowing like a stage built for pure drama, and this was no ordinary panel discussion. This was the American Leadership Forum, held right in the heart of Washington, D.C., broadcast live on major networks, with two former presidents sharing the same stage for the first time since Donald Trump returned to the White House. Every single seat was packed. Business suits, press badges, and a handful of red MAGA hats scattered through the crowd like little warning flags. The moderator stepped up to the mic and tapped it once. Good evening, everyone. Tonight's conversation is about the future of American leadership. How do we bridge divides, move forward together, and lead with strength in uncertain times? She paused, letting those words hang in the air like they actually meant something. Then she gave a quick nod, and Trump was already moving before she even finished saying his name. He practically bounded to that podium like he was late for his own rally. He grabbed the mic, gave it a quick twist, and launched right in. Folks, let me tell you something. We've done more in the last few years than most people thought possible. Record low unemployment before the China virus hit. Energy independence. Tax cuts that put money back in your pockets. The strongest military we've ever had. Tremendous, tremendous success. His voice boomed across the room, hands chopping the air for emphasis. Every few sentences he threw in a "believe me" or "nobody's ever seen anything like it," and the cheers came right on cue from his corner of the crowd. Not wild stadium-level roars, but solid enough to keep him fired up. He paced behind the podium, grinning like the whole night was already his. Then the tone shifted, and it shifted fast. His eyebrows shot up, his smile tightened, and he leaned in. Now look, I'm all for unity, right? We all want that. But let's be honest, some people had 8 long years to get things done. 8 years of beautiful speeches, very eloquent, very classy. And what did we get? A lot of talk, a lot of promises, not much action. The polite clapping from earlier died instantly. Heads turned toward Obama, who sat perfectly still, face blank, calm as someone listening to a weather report. Trump leaned forward, dropping his voice just enough to make it feel personal, and pointed. I mean, come on. We had a first lady who spent more time writing books and going on talk shows than actually fixing problems here at home. Nice words, sure, but words don't build walls, don't bring jobs back, don't keep our country safe. The room sucked in a breath. Nobody coughed. Nobody moved. He never said her name, but everyone in that room knew exactly who he was talking about. It landed like a slap across the face. A few people in the back exchanged wide-eyed glances, mouths half open in disbelief. Trump kept going, cool and casual, like he was simply stating facts. And you know what she always said? When they go low, we go high. He let that phrase just sit there for a beat, then let out a short, sharp laugh, the kind that says he doesn't believe a single word of it. High? Really? Maybe that works when you're sitting in a fancy library signing books. But down here in the real world, sometimes you've got to go low to win. Sometimes you've got to fight fire with fire. That's leadership. That's results. He smirked, eyes sliding over to Obama for the first time since he started talking. That smirk said everything. Your move. The crowd was split right down the middle. Some of Trump's people chuckled nervously. Others sat frozen, waiting to see if the other shoe would drop. But Obama? He didn't flinch, didn't frown, didn't even blink faster. If you were watching close, really close, you'd catch it. His right hand resting on his knee, fingers curling just a little tighter. Not a fist, not rage, just the smallest squeeze, like he was holding something back, measuring it, deciding exactly when to let it go. The cameras caught the moment, but most people missed it entirely. They were too busy watching Trump push further, wondering why Obama still hadn't said a single word. Trump wasn't done, not even close. He leaned back into that podium like he could feel the room hanging on his every syllable. "Let me be straight with you," he said, voice dropping a notch but still carrying that sharp edge. Michelle Obama, great speaker, no doubt. Very polished, very inspiring. But when you look at what actually got done, nothing. Just nice speeches, lots of talk about hope and change. But where was the change? Where were the results? She was First Lady for 8 years. She had that platform, and what did she do with it? More books, more TV appearances, more words. Words are cheap, folks. Action is what matters. The room went dead quiet. Not the polite hush from before. This was heavier, thicker, like someone had physically sucked all the air out of the building. Phones stayed up. Nobody moved. He'd said her name flat out this time, and twisted the knife just enough to make it sting. Obama sat exactly as he had all night, back straight, hands resting lightly on his knees, face as calm as a still pond. No frown, no tight jaw, no quick glance at an aide, nothing. Just that steady, unblinking gaze fixed somewhere between the podium and the middle distance. His silence wasn't passive. It felt like a wall, solid and growing taller with every word Trump threw at it. Trump noticed. His eyes darted over again, quicker this time, searching desperately for a reaction that simply wasn't coming. The lack of pushback seemed to rattle him more than any comeback ever could. He forced a laugh that didn't land right. "And you know, it's not just her. The whole family got the same treatment. Endless praise, endless photo ops. But when push came to shove, what did we really see? More of the same. Talk, always talk." He paused. Still nothing from Obama. Trump's grin tightened into something closer to a grimace. "I guess when you're that insulated, you don't have to get your hands dirty. Must be nice." A ripple moved through the crowd, soft gasps, a few heads shaking slowly. But Obama stayed locked in place, breathing even, expression unchanged. The room felt his calm more than it felt Trump's noise. Trump lingered at the podium a beat longer than necessary, eyes locked on Obama, almost daring him to bite. When nothing happened, he stepped back, gave a short wave, and headed to his seat. The applause that followed was scattered and uncertain, more out of habit than enthusiasm. In the front row, a gray-haired ex-aide, the one who'd been recording the whole night, shifted slightly and leaned toward the woman sitting beside him, a reporter he clearly knew. His voice was barely above a whisper over the fading claps. He said, "He just crossed the line. That's not politics anymore. That's personal, and it's dangerous." She nodded once, eyes wide, scribbling furiously in her notebook. The applause for Trump faded into an uneasy hum, then silence swallowed the room whole. Everyone waited. The moderator glanced between the two men, fingers tight on her notes, like she was bracing for impact. Then, slow and deliberate, Barack Obama unfolded himself from his chair. No rush, no dramatic flourish. He simply stood, buttoned his jacket once, and walked to the podium like he was stepping up to answer a question at a neighborhood town hall. The click of his shoes on the stage was the only sound in the entire room. When he reached the mic, he adjusted it slightly and looked out at the crowd. Not at Trump, not yet, just the faces. "You know," he began, voice low and even, the kind that makes you lean in without even realizing it. "It's easy to talk about leadership when the cameras are rolling, when the lights are bright and everyone's watching. You get the applause, the headlines, the cheers. But real leadership, that happens when nobody's looking, when the decisions are tough and there's no crowd to impress. That's when character shows up. Or it doesn't." He paused and let those words settle into the silence. Then he turned his head slowly and looked straight at Trump for the very first time. No anger in his eyes, just steady and clear, like he was looking straight through the man, not at him. "You spent a good part of your time tonight talking about my wife," Obama said, voice still soft, almost conversational. "Michelle, you said she was all talk, no action. You mocked her words. So let me ask you something." Another beat. The tension in that room coiled so tight it was almost unbearable. "Why don't you tell Barron who his real mother is?" The room exploded, not with noise at first, but with a collective gasp that ripped the oxygen right out of the air. Trump's face froze. The grin vanished like someone flipped a switch. His mouth dropped halfway open, then snapped shut, eyes going wide, then narrowing fast, like he couldn't believe what he'd just heard. The reference landed hard and precise. Those years-old comments Trump had made about his own daughter, Ivanka. The ones that had made people deeply uncomfortable for over a decade, whispered about but never truly confronted. Until now, in front of cameras, in front of witnesses, in front of him. A shockwave rolled through the crowd, sharp intakes of breath, hands flying to mouths, a few people half rising from their seats before sitting back down. Phones shot up higher, recording every single second. Trump blinked once, twice, then forced a laugh. Loud, barking, hollow, the kind he reaches for when he's truly rattled. "That's a low blow," he shouted, jabbing a finger across the stage. "That's hitting below the belt. You're talking about my family now. Unbelievable." Obama didn't step back, didn't raise his voice. He simply met Trump's eyes and spoke right over the outburst, calm as still water. "I'm not talking about your family. I'm talking about your words. The exact words you said years ago. On tape, in interviews, in public. I'm simply using them, that's all." A small, almost sad smile touched his lips. "Truth doesn't insult. It reveals." The line landed clean and perfect. Scattered applause started in the middle rows. Tentative at first, then stronger as more people joined in. Not wild cheering, but something deeper. Recognition, respect for the precision, for the way Obama had flipped the mirror without ever once raising his voice. Trump's face flushed an even deeper red. He looked around desperately for backup, but the applause kept growing, slow, steady, drowning out his protest. He dropped back hard into his chair, arms crossed tight, jaw working like he was chewing on something bitter. Then he shot up again like a spring had snapped underneath him. The chair scraped loud across the floor, slicing right through the lingering applause. His neck cords were standing out, eyes wide and wild. He grabbed the edge of the podium again, knuckles white, and leaned so far forward the mic nearly touched his lips. "You think you can drag my family into this?" he snarled, voice cracking higher than usual, all the polish completely gone. "You don't get to talk about my kids. You're not fit to even say their names. That's disgusting, Barack. Disgusting." The room froze, but differently this time. Sharper, more electric. Trump wasn't performing anymore. He was unraveling right in front of everyone. No grin, no wave, no believe me. Just raw, red-faced fury on full display. A few of his own supporters started to clap in support, but it sounded thin and uncertain, like they weren't sure whether this was the moment to cheer or just quietly disappear. Obama stayed seated for a beat, letting Trump's outburst echo off every wall. Then he rose again, slow, unhurried, and walked back to the podium. He adjusted the mic once more, looked straight at Trump, and spoke like they were the only two people in the room. "I'm not dragging anyone," Obama said quietly. "I'm repeating what you said publicly on the record. Back in 2006 on the Howard Stern show, you were asked about your daughter, Ivanka, and you said," he paused, letting the memory hang there in the air. He said, "If Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her." Your exact words. You said it again in other interviews. You laughed about it. So let's not pretend this is new, because it isn't. It's yours." A shiver ran through the crowd. Actual goosebumps on some arms, sharp intakes of breath on others. Phones were everywhere now, red recording lights blinking like fireflies in the dark. People who'd been completely neutral suddenly looked deeply uncomfortable, shifting in their seats. The quote wasn't new to everyone, but hearing it laid out bare like that, in this room, with cameras rolling, felt like an absolute gut punch. Trump's mouth opened, closed, opened again, no quick comeback in sight. Then Obama turned his head slightly, not toward Trump, but toward the front row, toward the gray-haired ex-aide who had been quietly recording the entire evening. The man's phone was still in his hand, screen lit up bright. Obama spoke directly to him, voice carrying clear and clean through the mic. "You were there," Obama said, "on 2016 campaign. You were in the room for some of those briefings, some of those calls. You heard those comments when they came up. Do you want to remind everyone exactly what was said? Or should we just let the tapes speak for themselves?" The ex-aide looked up, met Obama's eyes for a long, loaded second, then nodded once. Firm. No hesitation. He said out loud, just loud enough for the nearest mics to catch. He said it multiple times. It wasn't a one-off, and we all knew it crossed lines. Even then, the confirmation landed like a hammer dropping on marble. A low murmur spread through the rows. Shock, slow nods, a few people whispering under their breath. Trump slammed his palm down on the table. "That was a joke," he barked, voice cracking again. "A stupid joke. Everyone knows I was kidding. You people twist everything." Obama didn't blink. He leaned in just a fraction. "A joke? About your own daughter?" he asked, soft but razor sharp. "What exactly do you call that? Humor? Or something else?" The room erupted, and this time it was not polite applause. Real rolling waves of reaction crashed through the crowd. Gasps mixed in, sharp exhales, a few outright shouts of "Wow!" from the back rows. Hands clapped hard. Some people were standing without even thinking about it. The sound built fast, completely drowning out Trump's protests. He stood there, chest heaving, looking around like the entire crowd had personally betrayed him. His aides were frozen stiff, one whispering furiously into an earpiece, eyes darting everywhere. The moderator tried desperately to speak. "Gentlemen, please." But her voice got completely swallowed by the noise. Obama stepped back from the podium, gave the crowd one quiet nod, and returned to his seat. The applause didn't stop. It rolled on strong and steady, like the room had finally made up its mind about which side of the mirror it wanted to look into. Then Trump surged forward again, practically ripping the mic right out of its stand. His face was beet red, veins visible at his temples, sweat shining under the bright lights. "This is ridiculous," he bellowed, voice cracking into a near shout. "You're twisting everything. You come up here with your fancy words, acting like you're above it all, but you just attacked my family, my daughter, my kids. That's not leadership, that's disgraceful." The moderator jumped up, hands out like she was directing traffic. "Gentlemen, please, let's keep this civil. We're here to discuss leadership, not..." But Trump cut her off with a sharp chop of his hand. No, I'm not done. He thinks he can lecture me? Me? After everything?" His words tumbled fast, tripping over each other, the usual polished rhythm completely gone. The crowd sat in dead silence, watching the meltdown unfold in real time. A few of his own supporters quietly looked away. Phones stayed up, capturing every single second. Obama waited until the outburst peaked and started to fade, then stood once more. No hurry. He walked to the podium, adjusted the mic back to his height, and looked straight at Trump. The room went quiet instantly, like someone had hit mute on a remote. Obama's voice came out low, measured, almost gentle. "You just said something interesting," he began. You said, and I quote, "I would never bring someone's family into politics. Never." Your words from just a few minutes ago. He let that sit for a heartbeat. So I have to ask, Melania and Barron, are they the exception? Because if family is truly off limits, why did you bring up my wife by name tonight? Why twist her words? Why make it personal? The trap snapped shut. Trump's mouth opened, but nothing came out. No quick retort, no laugh to cover it. Just silence, thick, suffocating silence that stretched longer than any of his speeches ever had. His eyes darted left, right, searching desperately for an escape route that simply did not exist. The moderator tried one last time. "We should move to closing remarks." But nobody heard her. All eyes were locked on Trump, frozen mid-breath, each looking smaller than he had at any point all night. Obama didn't press. He didn't need to. He leaned in just a fraction, voice still calm, still clear, still completely in control. Real leadership doesn't require shouting. It doesn't need the last word. It just needs to stand firm when the attacks come. That's it. Stand firm. He let that sentence hang there. Simple, quiet, and absolutely final. Then he stepped back from the podium, gave the crowd one quiet nod, and walked back to his seat. The applause started slow, scattered at first, then built fast, rolling through the room like a wave nobody could stop. Hands clapped hard, some people standing, others simply nodding in quiet, deep agreement. It wasn't wild cheering. It was something much more powerful. Respect, pure, earned, undeniable respect. Trump didn't join in the applause. He stayed seated, arms crossed tight across his chest, hands trembling just enough for the people closest to him to notice. His face was completely blank now. No grin, no scowl, just empty. The moderator wrapped up quickly, thanking everyone, but her words barely registered over the weight of what had just happened. Obama stood last, shook a few hands on his way out, offered calm smiles and quiet thanks to the organizers. He walked through the side door without once looking back, shoulders relaxed, steps perfectly even. The hallway lights caught him for just a moment. One man walking away from a storm he never let touch him. Back in the ballroom, Trump remained in his chair under the glare of the overhead lights, alone now. The applause had died. The crowd was filing out, but he didn't move. He just sat there, staring at the empty podium, the echo of his own words still hanging in the air like smoke. The night was over, and the quiet one had walked away with absolutely everything that mattered. If you made it all the way through this story and felt that rush when Obama owned that entire room without ever once raising his voice, then you're exactly where you need to be. This is the kind of content we live for. Every tense silence, every sharp comeback, every moment the air got so thick you could cut it with a knife. We don't sugarcoat it. We don't hype it up. We just tell the real story, raw and unfiltered, so you can feel the full weight of what actually went down. If you want more high-stakes political showdowns, more history-defining moments broken down, and more quiet power moves that changed everything, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on your notifications. We've got more stories just like this coming your way. Backstage drama, viral moments dissected, and lessons in leadership that hit hard and stay with you. If this one got you, the next ones absolutely will too. See you in the next video, where the drama never really ends.